Breaking news. Yu Menglong's agency finally found. His best friend among 17 arrested. Tonight, the silence breaks. In a stunning twist no one saw coming, the long-missing agency connected to Yu Menglong has allegedly been identified, triggering what insiders describe as the largest coordinated crackdown ever linked to the case. And the most shocking detail. White right-pointing backhand index, one of the 17 reportedly detained individuals, is said to be Yu Menglong's closest friend. A friend who stood beside him. A friend who knew his habits. A friend who was never questioned, until now. This is the story no one was supposed to tell. Yu Menglong wasn't just another name in the industry. He was a rising talent. A trusted face. A symbol of a new generation. Fans remember his smile. Directors praised his discipline. Colleagues described him as too kind for the politics of fame. But behind the lights, something wasn't right. Chart with downward trend contracts stalled. Chart with downward trend schedules changed without explanation. Chart with downward trend his agency, once active, slowly vanished from public view. And then, so did the truth. Most stars are managed by visible, traceable companies. Yu Menglong's situation. Crossmark no official statements. Crossmark no transparent records. Crossmark no clear chain of responsibility. Industry insiders whispered about shell companies, proxy managers, contracts signed but never disclosed. For years, fans asked a simple question. Who was really controlling Yu Menglong's career? No one answered. Until now. According to dramatized investigative sources, authorities finally traced the agency's structure through layered registrations, third-party representatives, offshore contract routing. What they allegedly uncovered stunned even veteran investigators. Right-pointing magnifying glass, the agency wasn't just mismanaged, it was deliberately hidden. And at the center of its operations, people Yu Menglong trusted most. In this fictionalized account, 17 individuals connected to the agency's operations were allegedly taken in for questioning. Among them, financial handlers, contract negotiators, silent intermediaries. But one name shook the public imagination. Yu Menglong's best friend. The person fans saw. Celebrating birthdays with him. Standing backstage. Appearing in behind-the-scenes footage. The one figure no one believed could be involved. Investigators in this dramatized narrative propose a chilling theory. The safest person to hide secrets with is the one nobody would ever accuse. Best friends aren't questioned, aren't suspected, aren't seen as threats. They move freely. They hear everything. They sign quietly. And if something goes wrong, they vanish into loyalty. Moments that once felt normal suddenly feel strange. Unfinished sentences. Nervous glances. Awkward pauses when agency questions came up. Yu Menglong, in one resurfaced interview, allegedly said, "Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you don't get to choose." At the time, no one understood. Now, everyone does. The case suggests something darker. Lock hidden agencies. Lock silent partners. Lock stars treated as assets, not people. Yu Menglong's case becomes a symbol of control over creativity. Contracts without consent. Loyalty weaponized against truth. And suddenly, everyone is asking, how many others are trapped in the same system? Because it hits three powerful fears. Keycap 1, betrayal by someone you trust. Keycap 2, power hidden behind smiles. Keycap 3, truth buried under contracts. That's why this case trends. That's why it spreads. That's why people can't stop watching. In this fictional account, the interrogations did not begin with shouting. They began with silence. No cameras. No phones. No managers. No lawyers speaking for them. Just cold rooms. Stacked files. Names written in red ink. Each of the 17 was separated. Because investigators believed one thing. If their stories don't match, the truth will surface. The first to allegedly break wasn't the friend. It was a junior contract handler, someone whose name fans had never heard. Under pressure, this individual reportedly admitted. Contracts were routed through proxy companies. Signatures were sometimes authorized without direct consent. Critical decisions were made without Yu Menglong present. But the most chilling statement. We were told not to ask questions. Everything came from above, or from someone very close to him. Very close. Investigators in this narrative didn't focus on emotions. They followed money trails. And what they allegedly found was disturbing. Moneybag payments split into small amounts. Moneybag accounts opened under unrelated names. Moneybag management fees routed through consulting services. The agency, on paper, looked legal. In reality, it functioned like a maze designed to hide responsibility. And at the center of that maze, someone who could move freely without suspicion. For hours, in this fictional telling, Yu Menglong's best friend reportedly said nothing. No denials. No explanations. No anger. Just silence. Until one question changed everything. Did Yu Menglong ever ask you who was really managing his career? The pause that followed was described as too long to be innocent. And then came the alleged response. He trusted me to handle things he didn't want to see. That single sentence shook the room. The friend's defense, in this fictional narrative, was simple. Everything I did was to protect him. Protect him from industry politics, bad press, powerful enemies. But investigators pushed back. Because protection without consent becomes control. And control without transparency becomes something else entirely. In this dramatized story, digital forensic teams allegedly recovered. Mobile phone deleted voice notes. Mobile phone unsent messages. Mobile phone draft emails never delivered. One message, never sent, allegedly read. I don't know who is making decisions anymore. I feel like a guest in my own life. The timestamp. Months before everything fell apart. As the interrogations continued, investigators revisited key moments fans once celebrated. Birthday cake birthdays. Clapperboard premieres. Camera with flash backstage laughter. Now, each image was questioned. Who arranged it? Who approved it? Who benefited from it? And most importantly, who decided what Yu Menglong was allowed to know? In this fictional account, a theory emerged. The agency wasn't designed to build a career. It was designed to control exposure. To decide. When he appeared. When he disappeared. When silence was required. And silence, investigators believed, was not accidental. One alleged interrogation transcript described a moment that never reached the public. A meeting. A closed-door discussion. Yu Menglong reportedly asked, "Why do I feel like I'm losing control?" According to this fictional narrative, no one answered honestly. If Case 2 revealed what they said, Case 3 reveals what they tried to erase. Because behind every interrogation, there is paperwork. And behind that paperwork, there are files so dangerous, they were never meant to be opened. In this fictional, investigators allegedly discovered a locked archive labeled internally as restricted, non-disclosure tier red. Not contracts. Not schedules. Not finances. These were decision files. Files that answered one terrifying question. White right pointing backhand index who made choices when Yu Menglong didn't. Each file had a neutral name. But inside, the content told a different story. Allegedly included were appearance cancellations without artist approval, rewritten public statements, internal risk assessments about Yu Menglong's market behavior, psychological profiles created without his knowledge. One investigator in this fictional account reportedly said, "This wasn't management. This was containment." Buried deep in the archive was a calendar entry that never appeared publicly. No email invite. No official record. Just a reference. Private alignment session. Location. Undisclosed. Attendees. Unnamed. Date. Months before everything collapsed. This meeting, according to the dramatized story, would later be called The point of no return. Based on fictional reconstructions, the meeting allegedly included two senior agency operatives, one external advisor, Yu Menglong's best friend, and notably missing, Yu Menglong himself. That absence changed everything. Recovered notes from this fictional meeting allegedly listed discussion points such as long-term risk exposure, brand volatility, emotional unpredictability, containment through trusted intermediaries. One line stood out above all others: direct disclosure to artist not advised at this time. That sentence alone redefined the entire case. Until now, the friend claimed protection. But these files suggested something else. In this story, the friend wasn't just involved. They were the bridge, the filter, the messenger who decided what truth reached Yu Menglong and what didn't. Investigators allegedly asked, when did loyalty turn into authority? There was no easy answer. Among the red files was an audio fragment. Corrupted, incomplete, never released. But one line was allegedly clear. He doesn't need to know everything to function. No name attached. No timestamp visible. Just enough to send shockwaves through the room. In a chilling twist, investigators in this fictional narrative discovered handwritten notes kept separately from digital records. Short, messy, personal. One line read, "Everyone keeps saying it's for my good. But nobody tells me the whole story." This was not a man in control. This was a man being managed from the shadows. The agency's strategy, as reconstructed in this fictional account, relied on one fragile assumption. Yu Menglong would never doubt the people he loved. That assumption became the system's greatest weapon. Because trust doesn't leave evidence. The secret meeting stayed hidden. The red files stayed locked. Until one mistake. A duplicate archive. A mislabeled backup. One careless upload. And suddenly, the invisible structure became visible. In this story, that moment triggered everything. As investigators closed the red files, one final question echoed through the room. If Yu Menglong was kept in the dark, what decision was he never given the chance to make? And that question leads directly to Case 4. Deep inside the fictional archive, investigators allegedly found a document unlike the others. No revisions. No comments. No alternatives. Just a single header. Final direction. Non-reversible. That phrase alone froze the room. Because in any industry, non-reversible means only one thing. White right pointing backhand index, there would be no second chance. This decision was not about ending a contract, switching agencies, pausing a career. Those options were discussed and dismissed. According to this dramatized account, the system chose something more dangerous. Something quieter. Something permanent. Meeting notes attached to the file allegedly stated, direct control has limits. Narrative control does not. Instead of confronting Yu Menglong, instead of informing him fully, the decision focused on managing perception. What the public would see. What the media would repeat. What fans would never question. In this fictional retelling, the best friend's role reached its most critical point. They were reportedly asked one question. Can you keep him calm and compliant? The answer wasn't recorded. But the outcome was. Because the plan moved forward. Investigators allegedly uncovered a partial transcript of a conversation. Raw, unedited, and never officially logged. Yu Menglong reportedly said, "Why does everything feel decided before I even speak?" A pause followed. Then a reply. Because some things are bigger than one person. That was the moment. The moment trust shattered, even if no one admitted it out loud. Once the final direction was approved, several things happened at once. Lock communication channels tightened. Lock schedules became opaque. Lock decisions were executed without confirmation. From that point on, in this fictional narrative, Yu Menglong was no longer a participant in his own life. He became a variable to be managed. But systems built on secrecy are fragile. One unexpected variable changed everything. Yu Menglong started asking questions. publicly. Small ones. Careful ones. But questions nonetheless. And the system panicked. Internal notes from the fictional archive allegedly captured rising fear. His becoming unpredictable. Public perception risk increasing. Friends' influence weakening. One final margin note stood out. We may have underestimated his awareness. That realization came too late. According to this dramatized story, the best friend began to hesitate. Messages went unanswered. Instructions delayed. Silence replaced certainty. For the first time, the system lost its most trusted filter. And without that filter, everything started to leak. The final direction didn't just affect Yu Menglong. It triggered internal fractures, loyalty conflicts, irreversible consequences. Because once you decide for someone without them, you inherit responsibility for everything that follows. In this fictional account, the fallout didn't begin with a scandal. It began with small inconsistencies. Schedules changed twice in one day. Statements contradicted each other. Representatives stopped returning calls. Fans noticed first. They always do. Online communities began stitching fragments together. Archived interviews. Deleted posts. Conflicting timelines. One viral comment read, "Why does everyone speak for him, but he never speaks for himself?" That question ignited everything. According to this dramatized story, the hidden agency attempted damage control. Tightened NDAs. Instructed silence. Issued neutral statements. But neutrality felt suspicious. And suspicion spreads faster than truth. Then came the leak. Not a document. Not a recording. A timeline. A fan-made breakdown showing when decisions were made. When Yu Menglong appeared confused or withdrawn. When the agency's visibility dropped. It didn't prove guilt, but it proved pattern. And patterns are dangerous. In this fictional narrative, something else happened quietly. The best friend vanished from public sight. No photos. No posts. No appearances. For someone once inseparable from Yu Menglong, the absence was deafening. Behind the scenes, loyalty collapsed. Junior handlers questioned orders. Senior operatives blamed each other. Silence turned into self-preservation. One internal message allegedly read, "If this breaks, it breaks on all of us." Fear replaced confidence. The second leak wasn't dramatic. That's why it mattered. A short internal guideline surfaced. Avoid direct confirmation. Redirect all inquiries to emotional well-being narratives. Fans immediately understood. This wasn't transparency. It was deflection. Up until now, speculation was divided. But this moment unified viewers. Because emotional well-being is not a shield. And silence is not care. For the first time, the narrative flipped. White right pointing backhand index Yu Menglong wasn't distant. He was being distanced. In this fictional universe, media outlets followed engagement, not truth. Once the story trended, coverage exploded. Who really spoke for Yu Menglong? The agency you were never supposed to see. A friend or gatekeeper. And with every headline, control slipped further. No press conference. No interview. Just a single, private message allegedly sent to one investigator. "I thought I was protecting him. I didn't realize I was helping erase him." That sentence ended any illusion of control. Once that message surfaced internally, everything unraveled. Blame shifted upward. Files were copied just in case. People prepared exits. The system wasn't protecting anyone anymore. It was saving itself. Investigators in this fictional narrative reached a chilling conclusion. No single villain destroyed Yu Menglong's autonomy. It was a chain of good intentions left unchecked. And that made it worse. Amid the noise, one truth was lost. Yu Menglong never asked for power struggles. Never asked for protection through secrecy. Never asked to be managed like a liability. He asked for clarity. And never received it. In this fictional narrative, investigators allegedly uncovered a series of internal alerts sent within the agency. Urgent messages flagged in red. Repeated recommendations to reveal the truth gradually. A warning label marked critical. Transparency required immediately. The messages weren't ignored. They were postponed. The alerts reportedly outlined growing problems. Keycap 1 fan confusion turning into distrust. Keycap 2 media speculation becoming public pressure. Keycap 3 the friend showing signs of hesitation. One note allegedly read, "If trust is broken internally, the external narrative will collapse." Investigators later described this as the first clear indicator of inevitable exposure. According to the dramatized story, Yu Menglong's best friend had one last chance to intervene. A private, unrecorded meeting was arranged. The friend was asked, "Will you come forward and tell him the truth?" Silence followed. No confirmation. No refusal. Just the hesitation that sealed the system's fate. After that meeting, the chain of events accelerated. Contracts were executed without approval. Press statements contradicted internal files. Key documents were leaked accidentally. Investigators allegedly said, "From this point, control was impossible." The system had become its own enemy. Once the leaks surfaced online, fans pieced together the story faster than the agency could respond. Unexplained schedule changes. Sudden social media gaps. Cryptic messages from insiders. Viral hashtags exploded in this dramatized universe. Inside the agency, the fictional narrative describes panic. Senior operatives blamed each other. Junior staffers leaked more documents preemptively. The friend was caught between loyalty and guilt. One internal note allegedly stated, "If we don't act, everything collapses. But we no longer know how to stop it." By now, the fictional investigators say, the system itself seemed aware of collapse. Algorithms, schedules, and protocols, none could manage this exposure anymore. In this dramatized case, the final alert read, "Immediate disclosure recommended. Delay is critical risk." But no action was taken. The friend hesitated. Executives debated. The system froze. And silence became the final act. Even the best friend reportedly realized, "I helped build the walls, but I also built the cracks." The fictional narrative suggests the immediate aftermath. Confusion in public statements. Fans questioning every update. Media reporting discrepancies. The moment the first leak reached trending status, investigators described it as the tipping point. Control was gone. The narrative fractured. The system failed. The leak spread. And the world finally saw the truth. In this fictional narrative, the first real public impact came when fans pieced together leaked timelines. Screenshots of the red files circulated. Cryptic internal alerts reached social media. How could someone you trust control your life without your knowledge? He wasn't hiding, they were hiding him. The dramatized case reports that Yu Menglong's best friend became a lightning rod. Every appearance was scrutinized. Every post was analyzed. Every former public smile was reframed in context. Fans debated. Was this friend protecting Yu Menglong? Or controlling him? Could loyalty justify secrecy? Even silence became evidence. The fictional narrative highlights a new phenomenon. Fans turned detectives. They recreated Yu Menglong's last public schedule. Deleted social media posts. Cryptic statements. Each reconstruction amplified suspicion. Everything the agency said now feels scripted. The internet became a courtroom, and every fan a juror. News outlets joined the storm. Headlines read, "Fictional examples." The agency that vanished, and the friend who stayed silent. Yu Menglong's life managed like a project. Leaked red files reveal decisions fans were never meant to see. The viral coverage forced agencies, managers, and executives into defensive positions. Months after disappearing from public view, the best friend in this fictional account released a cryptic statement. "I thought I was protecting him. I was wrong. I am sorry to those who loved him, and to him, wherever he would have wanted to see the truth. Public reactions were mixed. Some expressed forgiveness. Some called for accountability. Some debated whether loyalty can justify secrecy. The ambiguity became part of the legend. The fictionalized fallout forced industry-wide reflection. Our agencies implemented transparency protocols. Our internal audits of artist management became standard. Public trust metrics were introduced for high-profile careers. One fictional insider commented, "The story of Yu Menglong changed the way we think about management forever. No one can operate in shadows like that again." Documentaries, YouTube retrospectives, and viral analyses poured in. Footage of the Red Files. Fan timelines juxtaposed with official statements. Recreated interviews highlighting inconsistencies. Media dubbed it the era of truth in entertainment, a term symbolizing the end of hidden control. From this fictional account, the final message emerges. Trust is sacred. Transparency is powerful. And even the closest friend can unintentionally wield devastating control. Fans remembered Yu Menglong not just as a star, but as a cautionary figure, a symbol of what happens when personal agency is ignored.